So today we're going to read some of The Telltale Heart together. Has anybody ever read that short story? No. Savannah, no. Okay. Well, it's been a while since I've read it. I don't think I've read it since high school, which is 100 years ago. But has everybody been on the classroom or classwork tab of our Google Classroom today? Can you pull up the link that I posted on there? I'll share my screen and show you what it looks like. Good morning, Therese.
Morning, Mr. C.
How you doing today?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing good. All right, we're going to read The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. So I posted a link to a website under classwork in our Google Classroom. So let's everybody click on that.
What did you say, Mr. C? I didn't hear you.
We're going to read The Telltale Heart today, or part of it. And we're going to fill out a little graphic organizer.
Well, what app is it on?
Well, I posted a link in our Google Classroom under classwork.
Okay, let me see that.
Has everybody been able to find that? Can you give me a yes in the chat when you've got that pulled up?
Does it say the Telltale Heart?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of. It's a YouTube video.
No, not the YouTube video, the other one.
Oh, okay. And so, okay. I got it, Mr. C.
All right, Therese has it pulled up. Can everybody else tell me in the chat or unmute and let me know when you've got that pulled up?
Mr. C.
Yeah.
Another question. You remember the time that you said you was gonna make what's it called, pumpkin pie? Did you make it?
I did.
Okay. You did?
Yeah, it was pretty good too.
Oh, you ate it, huh?
I ate it all. Well, actually, I think there was one piece left that got thrown away, but for the most part, it was all gone. All right, McKenna has hers up. Colton, Corey, and Savannah, can you let me know when you've got that pulled up?
How do I get to it?
Huh?
How do I get to it?
How do you get to your Google Classroom?
Oh.
In your assignments. So let me know when you got those.
I got it.
All right, thank you, Colton. All right, Corey, Savannah, as soon as you all have that pulled up, we'll get started.
I'm ready.
All right, Corey, thank you. Savannah. Savannah, are you still with us?
Let's see. Do you want me to read the first paragraph or two?
Yeah, that'd be great, but let's wait and make sure Savannah's got it pulled up before we do. But yes, thank you for volunteering. I was going to ask for volunteers. Savannah, are you still there? All right. Also, guys, pull up that Google Doc for me, okay?
Google Doc.
Yeah, the one that's in the assignment where you just click the link.
Okay.
So what we're going to do while we're reading, we're going to fill this Google Doc out using examples of figurative language that we're reading in the Telltale Heart. So I've got it pulled up, so everybody, I'll share my screen with that one. You can see it. You know what it looks like. So we're going to fill out these boxes as we go along.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Therese, it looks like Savannah is asleep or has stepped away. So if you want to go ahead and read the first paragraph, that'd be awesome.
Did you call me, Mr. C?
Yeah, you can go ahead and start reading that first paragraph since you
Yes, sir.
volunteered.
True, nervous, very, very dreadful. Okay, true, nervous, very, very dreadful. Nervous. I've been ill. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my sense, not the story, not dread them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. Okay. How then am I mad? Hearkening. What? Hearkening, right?
Hearken, yeah, that means listen.
Yeah. And observe how healthily, whatever that says, how calmly I can tell you the whole story.
All right.
It is impossible. Okay.
Yeah, we can stop there for a second. So does anybody remember the types of figurative language that we talked about last week on Thursday? Can you give somebody, well, we just talked about simile when we first started. Can anybody give me another one that we talked about?
Metaphor.
Metaphor, right. What's another one? We talked about 5 of them. That's 2.
What you said? What you say again, Mister? 2 type of what?
Well, we talked about 5 different types of figurative language on Thursday, and I asked you all to tell me what those were. And we talked about simile in the bell ringer when we first got started.
Types of what again?
Corey just said one of them was metaphor. So there are.
You said types of what?
Figurative language. Figurative language.
Figurative language.
Yeah, let me refresh your memory. Okay. I'm going to share this tab with you. Can everybody see that? Remember us going through this on Thursday?
No, go back. I got it. Go back. I got it.
Well, let me refresh your memory. As soon as this pulls up.
I got it. Like, it's metaphor, like, slimy, I forget. Slimy, I think. Slimy. Right.
Salami?
No. Salami. It said
simile. Yes.
Simile. Yeah.
All right. Simile and metaphor are the 2 most common. We also talked about personification, which means we're giving something that is not human, like an animal or an object or a force of nature, we're projecting onto that human characteristics. It's like an angry sky, or the car is a beauty. We talked about alliteration, which is when you have a sentence where the first word or the first letter or first consonant sound is repeated over and over again. For instance, the slithering snake slid sideways silently. We talked about hyperbole, which is exaggerating a sentence to emphasize the point you're getting across. So you were really embarrassed one day and you said, I could have died of embarrassment, when you literally cannot die of embarrassment. So, going back to our first paragraph here, can anybody find an example of one of those figures of speech? So let me read it for you again. True, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous. I had been and I am.
Did you call me Mr. C?
No, I'm reading the first paragraph again.
Oh.
But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. So if I were to ask you for an example of hyperbole in that first paragraph, could you tell me what example I'm referring to? Anybody?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
Okay. Let me see. I'll read that again.
What does hyperbole mean, Therese?
I'm just trying to read the sentence, because if I read the sentence, then it might click to me. Did you read the second paragraph or the first
No,
paragraph?
we're still in the first.
And you said hyperbole?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. Now, this is the problem, because I don't see any word that starts with an H.
No, we're
Can you
not.
put your arrow? Can you put the arrow to it, please?
We're not looking for that word. We're looking for an example of that word, of that type of figurative language.
Hyperbole. Okay.
So, Therese, tell me what hyperbole means.
Hyperbole? I don't know.
Well, I just told you all. All right.
Hyperbole, like that, like there. Oh, it means you get like a specific effect or humor. Uses aggressive
Exaggeration.
exaggeration. Okay, I got it now. So like I could have died of embarrassment. Okay.
Right.
So like being sarcastic.
So can you die of embarrassment?
Yes.
Literally, can you die of embarrassment?
No.
No. So you're using that to exaggerate how embarrassed you were. So is there an example of something in this paragraph that is exaggerating something that the narrator talks about? For instance, look at this sentence. It says, above all was the sense of hearing acute. So what does hearing acute mean? What's he talking about? It means that his hearing is really sensitive. He can hear everything. So
yeah, that's exaggeration. Nobody can hear everything.
Well, look at the next sentence. Read that next sentence for me.
I heard all things in heaven and in the earth. Okay.
You read the next
I
one?
heard many things in hell.
Right. So, can you hear all things in the heaven and in the earth?
No.
No. So, is he exaggerating right there?
Yeah.
So, he's exaggerating. He's using hyperbole to tell you how sensitive his hearing was right then. Okay?
Any words that you ever hear saying hyperbole?
Hyperbole.
I'm just trying to understand you. Hyperbole, that's a hard little word. Hey, y'all in the classroom. What does hyperbole mean, Therese? I'm gonna be looking at you like, what?
Well, can you tell me what it means now?
Yes, it means being sarcastic or in like exaggerating.
Exaggeration.
What? Exaggeration. I cannot say that word.
It's all right. All right. So let's look at another example here. Alliteration. Can somebody read this for me? Other than Therese, he's already volunteered. I need somebody else to volunteer.
I will.
Thank you.
Okay, what you want me to read?
Read starting there.
Alliteration.
Yep.
Alliteration. The repetition of the intentional consonant sound of consecutive or near consecutive works for effect.
All right. Can you read the example for me?
The slithering snake slid sideways silently.
Right. So does everybody see how that works? Alliteration is when, again, the initial consonant sound of a word in a sentence for all of those words consecutively has the same sound. So what's the sound in this sentence that's consecutive, that's the same? The slithering snake slid sideways silently. What sound repeats itself in that sentence?
Sideways or slid?
Yeah, what's the first letter in those words?
S.
S. So the S sound repeats itself. That's right. Thank you, Unique. So in this example, in the first paragraph of A Telltale Heart, now it doesn't have to be every word or every word right next to each other. It can be near consecutive or words that are near each other. So let's look at this sentence right here. Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. So what consonant sound repeats itself in this sentence? Somebody tell me.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, anybody can.
Okay. Well, I think everybody needs to start doing things. Okay, but what were you about to say? That word that we just went over?
No, I just need the consonant sound that repeats itself in that sentence that I have highlighted right there.
Okay. Consonant sound.
What sound? Letter sound. Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story.
The letter sound?
Yeah.
Okay, the letter sound is H-A.
H.
Oh,
H. That's right. The H sound. So he uses that sound repeatedly in this sentence, and that is a form of alliteration. Okay? So let me share this document right here. I appreciate everybody that's volunteering to speak up. So thank you, Therese. Thank you, Unique. Thank you, McKenna, earlier for participating. So thank you all.
No problem.
All right. So this is part of our assignment, this document that I have pulled up. Okay. So what you're doing, you will read through the Telltale Heart here. Okay. Or if you want, you can press this little button here and it'll read it for you.
The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay. Or I posted a link to a YouTube video. Not that one. This one that also reads it for you.
True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am.
Okay. But what we're doing is we're reading or listening to the story, and then we're coming to our little graphic organizer here, and then we're going to find examples of each one of these figures of speech, or each one of these figurative language examples. So one we just talked about, going back to our story, was I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. And what did we talk about that was an example of? Again, can somebody tell me?
Go down. Pepper boo boo. Man, I don't know these words.
Hyperbole. All right, so that's correct. So we're going to write that in this box here under text. So what that means, that's the text from the story that we're using as our example. So that goes in this box. And we're also going to define what each of these figures of speech is. So in this example, hyperbole is using exaggeration to emphasize an effect, or if you want to put, like in this story, to emphasize how a person's feeling, or something like that. It doesn't have to be word for word exactly what I put there. So that
Okay, can you stay on this little thing for a while, like a documentary?
Well, let me finish telling you what we're going to be doing, okay? So we're going to put the definition in this box under definition, okay? And then in this last column, it says significance and meaning. And what that means is, what does the text, what is that telling us? So what is this text that we have put in this box? What does that mean? So what do we have to do there? Well, we have to go back to our story, and we find the text again.
Can you go back, please, Mr. C?
Yeah, hang on, Therese. Let me just get through this. So we have to go back to our story, find the sentence that we put in the text box, and look at the sentences before it and after it to get some context about what that sentence means.
Is this due today?
No, it's not due today. But go back to the story, look at the sentences before and the sentences afterwards, and that'll give us clues about what this means. So in this example, I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. If we look at the example, or the sentences before that, okay? They say the disease had sharpened my senses. So what is one of your senses? It's hearing, right? So that kind of clues us in that he may be telling us what he means here. So the disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. So hearing acute again means that his hearing was very sensitive and he could hear everything. So by saying, I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth, I heard many things in hell, the clues before that told us that he really could hear everything. His hearing was so sensitive that he could hear really well. So in this box, you'll just tell me what the narrator means by the sentence that we wrote in there.
But can you stay on that for a little bit, Mr. C? Because you're going too fast.
So something like that. You don't have to write my words exactly. These need to be your own words. But again, we're going to read the text. And you don't have to read this whole thing. So just read about half of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So get down to this paragraph here that I've highlighted. I'll scroll up.
Mr. C.
I'm going back, Therese. I'm going back. So read about half of it. Okay? Does everybody understand what we're doing? Y'all want to do one together?
Yeah.
Okay.
After this, yeah. Okay, go. Thank you.
Therese, do you have that?
I'm trying to get it. Okay, so how's life?
Well, life would be better when you finish that up.
Okay, trying to go as fast as I can, but I'm real fast on this. I'm fast at typing. It's just I don't know what these words are. Heaven and hell. Is that what it said?
Well, do you have the story put up?
Man, in the earth. Oh yes, I just got it. I got it, but it's like I'm over here trying to do this because I'm just trying to get it.
All right. Well, let's do one
Wait,
more.
wait.
Let's do one more together, and we'll come
But
back.
I'm all done, literally.
I'll come back to it, Therese. All right, so let's go back to our first paragraph. Which one did we talk about? What was the next one we talked about in this paragraph here?
What you talking about?
Well, we're going to do another example together, but I want you all to tell me so you can understand what we're doing in that graphic organizer. So what was the other example that we talked about in this first paragraph? Somebody other than Therese or Unique, since they both have already contributed. So as soon as we get this example done, we can go. But I want to do this next example together. So we showed you an example of hyperbole. What was the other example that we talked about just a second ago? Anybody? We talked about this sentence right here. What example did we talk about? Unique read it for us. Can somebody tell me what that says?
It says,
Therese, let somebody else answer. You've answered a lot. Somebody unmute and tell me what this says.
McKenna,
Colton.
Corey, Colton.
Figure language, figures of speech. I can't see what that says.
Alliteration.
Illustrate. What does that say?
Alliteration.
Alliteration. The reputation of the
Initial.
Consonant. So I can't even say that.
Consonant.
consonant sound of consecutive of near consecutive works for effect. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. What about the example here?
Example, the slithering. I can't even say that.
That's right.
Snake slid sideways stealthily.
Silently.
Violently.
So if the definition is the repetition of the initial consonant sound of consecutive or near consecutive works, or words, that should be words, sorry, for effect, what would the initial consonant sound in that example be?
I don't know.
What sound do those words make?
They all start with S.
They all start with S, that's right. So if we know, if we're looking for the same sound repeated in the sentence, does this sentence do that? Hearken
Yeah.
and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. So what sound is repeated there in that sentence?
I don't know.
Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. What sound? What letter sound?
S.
Hearken
Oh, hearken.
and observe how. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the tab. That's my fault. So let's look at this sentence I have highlighted. What initial sound does that do a lot of those words make?
H. Hearken.
H, that's right. So is this an example
Yeah.
of alliteration?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to our graphic organizer. So we just found an example of alliteration. So we're going to take that example from the text and write it, type it in this box. Yeah, hang on, Therese. Let me get this real quick. So we can just copy it basically. And then paste it into that box. Okay? So now we need to put the definition of alliteration, or our figure of speech that we're looking at, in this box under definition. And this presentation is in your Google Classroom under classwork, and I think it's also in your stream. So to get the definition, which I've already given you all, this should be words. You can just copy and go back to our graphic organizer. And then paste. So now we've got the definition and we've got the text. So we have to come to this last column. Yeah, hang on, Therese, I'm almost done. We need to find the significance or the meaning of what this text is saying. So then we need to go back to our text, look at the sentence, and then look at the sentences around it. That means before it and after it, so we can get some clues maybe of what that means. Okay? Just so you know, hearken again means listen. So let's substitute listen for hearken. Listen and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. So sometimes we may not need clues. Sometimes the sentence that we're looking at just tells us what it means. So in this example, he wants us to sit there and listen to how calmly he can tell us the story. Okay? Does everybody see how we're doing that?
Yeah.
All right, so we've done 2 here already. All right. So if you haven't been following along, I would suggest can everybody see this?
Yes.
All right. If you haven't been typing this as we go, which you probably haven't, it's gone kind of quick. I would suggest screenshotting this.
I can't screenshot it because can we just do this? We don't have no other things right now that we have to do because you're going a little.
Well, if you screenshot this, you've got the words in front of you and you can go back and type them in later.
Okay, so Mr. C, you're going like too fast.
Well, that's why I suggest screenshotting this, what we've already done, so you've got it. You can go back to it later. Can everybody screenshot this?
I already screenshot it, so.
All right, Colton.
No, I cannot screenshot this.
What? You can't screenshot it?
No, because I'm on a different computer.
What computer are you on?
I'm on my mom's computer.
What kind of computer is it?
A HP.
So a Windows?
Yes.
Therese, try Command Shift 3.
Oh, that didn't work.
Did it work?
Nah, that hit something else. Okay, so trying to get this.
Do you have a print screen button at the top, Torres?
A print screen button.
Yeah, it should be a little button on the top right.
Let's say PRTSC.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, what do I hit?
Try Control Print Screen. What'd it do?
I don't know. I don't see anything. I'm not supposed to hit Control R delete. Hold up. Wait. Let me see something. It's not working. I'll be quick real quick. I just gotta type this real quick. I'll be so quick. Hold up. Everything, because it's not about to let me screenshot.
All right, is there a little Windows button at the bottom? It's got like 4 little.
Yes, it has 4 little things.
Yeah, press that and print screen at the same time.
Oh, this.
So that should have saved on the local drive on that computer.
Okay, yes.
Did it?
I'm trying to look because it's really kind of hard for me to look. I already did what you said, but it's kind of hard for me to get it. I don't even know how to use this computer. I really need my own computer. MS, you remember that Chromebook?
Yeah.
It's broke.
That's not good.
Like literally.
All right, did everybody get that screenshotted? I know Colton did.
Yeah, I did.
McKenna did. Corey and Unique, do you need to screenshot that?
I already got it down. Yeah, I got it.
All right. So now we all know how to do it.
No, we don't.
We've
Not
got
all of us.
we've got examples on there to show you how to do it. So, does anybody have any questions for me?
Yes, please stay on here for like 30 more seconds.
All right. Therese, I'll stay on here with you. If nobody has any questions for me, you see how to do our assignment. You should be able to complete that reading the next few paragraphs. You don't have to read the entire thing, but let's try to complete that by Thursday so we can finish it up together in class. So if you don't have any questions or anything for me, you are free to go.